Girl, the streets are saying that Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, allegedly got caught cheating on her. This is wild because y'all know that Nicki has been defending this man for ages. But from what the streets are saying, he did not keep the same energy with her and has allegedly been slanging that thing all around town. And y'all want to know the wildest part? Rumor has it that Cardi was the one who supposedly leaked Kenneth's DMs and exposed him. Yeah, this is about to be a hot mess. So, let me break it down for y'all. Now, as wild as the situation is, I guess we shouldn't be too surprised because y'all know that the streets have been giving Kenneth the side eye since he popped up with Nicki, but things came to a head a couple of days ago. Reports started going around that not only has she ended things with Kenneth, but she threw him out of their house and made a scene about it, too. According to gossip of the city, Annie has been quiet lately. The police showed up in those hills after a domestic dispute. The neighbor called the police after witnessing it. Auntie was throwing his clothes out of the window as he was walking down the street. Now, she didn't refer to Nicki by name, but come on, it was clear as day that she was referring to Nicki. I mean, we all know that people refer to Nicki as Annie when talking about female rappers. Plus, Nicki also fits the bill because she's been real quiet on social media lately. And just in case we still didn't catch on, Red Media confirmed this, saying, blogger reveals that Nicki Minaj's sudden silence on social media is allegedly linked to a new marital crisis. According to them, Nicki was seen throwing her husband's things out of their matrimonial home in LA. Although they weren't direct, as no names were mentioned, but her fans already figured out that they were talking about her. Last year, there were similar rumors that Kenneth Petty was cheating and bringing home while Nicki was on tour. If y'all didn't catch the whole drama that went down about let me break it down for you real quick. At the time, there were rumors that Kenneth was allegedly cheating on Nicki while she was on tour in 2023. According to a blind item in February 2023, Nicki was upset that Kenneth didn't go on tour with her. Now, y'all know that he was on house arrest at the moment, so he couldn't go with Nicki on tour, but that didn't stop him from having the time of his life back home because allegedly he was throwing parties and having over. The blind item claimed that Nicki was done with Kenneth, saying a lot of noise is buzzing that the foreign-born former A-list rapper finally dumped her murder serial husband because he didn't travel with her overseas. He isn't allowed to travel with her. There have been a series of headed to his house while she has been gone though. Nicki also seemed to confirm the divorce news when she tweeted, "Yes, single." She ended up deleting it after a while, but for a while it seemed like the divorce rumors were the real deal. There were even reports that Nicki had moved out and bought a new house. According to Media Takeout, Nicki recently bought a brand new $19.5 million mansion in Hidden Hills, California. Records show the award-winning rapper's famed Starship's new mansion is located in a guard-gated city in the San Fernando Valley. Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth, is required to have his current address on file with the California SO Registry because of his past conviction in New York. Media Takeout confirmed. The home that Kenneth is reporting he lives in is not Nicki's new mansion. At the time, it seemed like the divorce was a done deal, but Kenneth somehow managed to win her back and they continued their thing until now. Because from what the streets are saying, Kenneth never really stopped cheating on Nicki, allegedly. But the real spicy part here is the rumors that Cardi was the one who allegedly outed Kenneth's shenanigans to Nicki. And I just know that made things even worse for Nicki. Not only did she get cheated on, but her #1 nemesis was the one who aired her out. Talk about embarrassing. If the Cardi part is true, then it would explain why Nicki freaked out and made a scene like she did by throwing Kenneth's clothes out. But if we're being honest, it's low-key sad for Nicki, because of the way she has been going out sad over this man. Fans have been saying from the start that he is bad for her, but she stuck by her decision and stood by her man. She tweeted, "When a person is with a ninja that loved them before they had a dime in their pocket, how do you not understand that? How do you not understand happiness versus clout?" Now, at the time this first happened, we didn't know all the shady things about Kenneth, but something about him just rubbed fans the wrong way. The suspicions were confirmed when we found out that he was a registered SO. Things took an even darker turn when Jennifer Howe, the woman connected to Kenneth's 1995 essay case, came forward. She accused both Kenneth and Nicki of harassing her, even getting their circle of friends involved. According to Jennifer, The situation got so bad that she couldn't keep a job and was forced to relocate just to get away from the constant pressure. But that wasn't the end of it. Jennifer later revealed something even more shocking. She claimed that Nicki and Kenneth had someone known as Black approach her with a $20,000 offer to recant her story and say Kenneth never harmed her. In other words, they allegedly tried to pay her off to stay quiet. Keep this part in mind because it becomes really important later. By this point, fans were scratching their heads wondering what Nicki even saw in Kenneth. It just didn't make sense. Was she really that in love with him? Because honestly, the whole situation was beyond embarrassing. Here she was one of the biggest names in rap, and yet her husband kept dragging her into messy headlines. On top of that, her name constantly got tied to his drama, and she was shelling out thousands in fines while still jumping online to defend him. The whole thing was a disaster. And believe it or not, the story goes even deeper. The 1995 SA case wasn't Kenneth's only serious run-in with the law. In 2002, he pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter for killing a man named Lamont Robinson. At first, he faced a secondary charge, but in 2006, he struck a plea deal that downgraded it. According to reports, the defendant, Kenneth Petty, the deceased Lamont Robinson with a loaded multiple times, thereby causing his passing. Seriously, it's wild. Kenneth was sentenced to 10 years behind bars, but ended up serving 7 before being released in 2013. After that, he was put on supervised release for another 5 years, which basically means that when he and Nicki first got together, he was still technically under supervision for taking someone's life. You'd think after everything in his past, Kenneth would try to lay low and avoid more drama, right? Nope. In 2023, he actually violated his probation after getting caught up in beef with Cardi B's husband, Offset. A video started making the rounds online showing Kenneth and his crew outside yelling for Offset and basically daring him to come out. Offset, where you at? That's it. SP go shop man. We outside big zoo outside. They even threatened to jump him if they ever caught him in public. It got even worse when Kenneth threatened to murk Offset. What happened? Money man. What's up at, man?
Yeah. Huh?
You said you zoom in on that vacation planning your funeral. Yeah. All the way to the street. Let's play. He got into a lot of trouble over this, and he was eventually sentenced to house arrest. This was why he couldn't travel with Nicki during her tour, and ended up bringing into her home when she was away. Nicki crashed out over this all over again, and it was bad. Blogger Ken Barbie made things even worse when he said, "You want to holler that people judge your disgusting husband because they're not used to being loved, but you know who is used to be loved exactly like you? Wendy Williams." He loved her pockets to the end, letting her do all types of substances, so he could keep digging in that purse while you sit up there looking like an ass. That man is keeping you all let up and mixing your nose candy with an ompic, so he can make you more stupid while taking your money and letting you look crazy. Fans have been saying that Kenneth has been after Nicki's money from the very start and has allegedly been controlling her. Nicki has been kind of blind to this, but it looks like she has finally woken up and she is done with him. And like this other blind item said, not only is Nicki getting divorced, but she's supposedly also planning to get a restraining order against Kenneth. The blind item said, when this foreign-born former A-plus list rapper finally does leave her husband, the restraining order petition is going to be out of this world. This situation is insane. But y'all let me know what you think about it in the comments, and then check out this next video.